Let me handle this. I know what I'm doing. So
I can't tell your kids who to go with and who not to go date. Not my responsibility. If you don't want your kids dating somebody, then you control it. But you control it a long time before they ever get to be dating age. You talk about we're friends. We can be friends with everybody. We are not prejudiced, but we are not going to date this group of people. It's not in our culture to do it. We're not going to do it. If you want to, there's no problem with that. That's fine. You're not a racist. You're not prejudiced just because you set down those kind of rules. Hello? If you want, I'm walking deep, that's right. But if you want mix, fine. If you want it, that's fine. But if you don't want it, then you control it. And you don't have to be a racist about it. And I'm not afraid to talk about it because I've got 30% of the different black in this congregation. And I've talked to many of them. Talked to the men about it. I've talked to about it. I've talked to a lot of these people about it. And they all understand where I'm coming from. We got some beautiful mixed marriages in our congregation, but I have talked to them also, and they have not been without their problems. Hello? Come on, people, let's get our head out of the sand. And I'll get accused again like I always do that I'm against mixed marriage. I did not say I was against mixed marriage. I said it's up to you, but if you don't want your kids involved in it, then you're the one that has to do something about it, not the church. And just because you change churches, it's not going to help the problem. Some people say, well, we'll change churches. No, we'll move away. We'll go somewhere else and start all over. No, it's not. You're not. You're just going to take the problem with you. Hello? Many years ago, I was in the kindergarten. We came home. This young little man was there, nice young man. We just talked to him. We said, hey, look, we friends, we play. We go together as a group, but we don't date one another. I mean, we started in kindergarten. Hello? That just was our rules. Now, once somebody gets up and they get of age, they get to be 21, 18, then they can choose to do what they want to. You ain't got no choice. You can't do nothing about it. They're on their own. I tell you what, the Bible says if you train a child up the way you want it to go, when it gets old, it won't depart. It may wobble around a while, but it'll come back. Hello? You say, well, my old soul, Pastor, you talking heavy. I am, and I've got the coast air conditioning because I'm sweating like everything.
Good morning, ladies and gents, and welcome back to another episode, the Sunday message of A Different View. Ladies and gents, today's going to be a big one. When you go to church, you ought to be hearing certain stuff, y'all. Oh, y'all ought to be hearing certain things. And this be's one of them things. See, it's good to talk about. God loves the little children and everything. I told you I was going to get into this video. This is a long-standing message back in the day. And this is just a big old shout out to, see, you got a lot of ministries out there doing a lot of fluff, not talking the truth, using the truth to put more money in their pocket. I could care which, or now see, share this, y'all, share like this message, get the word out there. Again, guys, comments drive the machine. So this is why I say, leave some comments and stuff. I already know where a lot of the stuff goes, because again, like we talked about earlier on my podcast here, there's certain defenses set in the mind. There's certain things people are going to say. Okay, there's certain things folks are going to do, because exactly what this minister, and we're not going to name them. If you know them, so be it. See, again, we're talking about doing the thing in love. I'm not going to have to name these people on purpose, because there's no need to. But there is need to speak on a thing here. How, and it's going to get raw, guys, so I apologize in advance. We're going to try to keep that colorful language to a minimum. But again, this is why we switched over our rating on our podcast. Again, you always keep up with yourself. And this is what we got to talk about. So here we go. How dare you use the Holy Scripture to bring out the thought that I cannot marry someone of another culture? What in the world verses are you reading? I don't care how long you've been studying the Bible. See, this is the boldness. This is the boldness you have to be. This is the boldness that the creator of the universes has asked us to walk in. And when you sit and settle, you get nothing. I was thinking to myself in my mind, ask. You ask and you receive. You got to ask the right question to receive a certain thing, right? Ask and receive. So what is it that you're wanting to ask? What is it you're wanting to receive? Okay, whatever that is, fill it in with the correct questions. To get the knowledge to ask the right question, you got to do some study, ladies and gentlemen. Do not be okay with what you just hear off Fox News, off CBS News, off of ABC News. We can name all the ones that started from back in the 80s till now. What you hear on PBS, what you see on ESPN. So I'm talking about these distractions, guys. They got distractions out there to get you off the game. They don't want you knowing, learning, having nothing. Barely anything. That's the game, especially when greed is involved. Down to the bone gristle, which is relationships. Do you know which one of them is? This is a note that I put down here. One type of relationship. Lord, I wish people could get it. One type of relationship is marriage, which should be looked at and built upon as friendship, as well as the love and physical attraction dynamic. The friendship part will carry a relationship through when all else may fail. Guys, at the base of the word relationship is relate. You have got to build upon the things in which y'all relate in, so when them times get tough, the Bible talks about it as a house built on a firm foundation. And that's one of those verses everybody goes back to, a very powerful one though. You can't build the thing in the sand. You've got to build it on firm, solid ground. And guess what one of the ground is? You can marry who you choose, as long as y'all are equal in the thought processes you're in. It's where that verse, do not be unequally yoked together, comes in. That's not talking, and I know what church folks consistently, it's autoplay. As soon as that verse comes in, they're going to talk about some sinners. I'm going to switch it on purpose, y'all. You can be unequally yoked with a believer who is unbelieving. Gosh, why people ain't seen that yet? Why haven't people seen that yet? You can be unequally yoked with a believer as a believer. We're talking church terms now that folks use. And again, though, for those who are not Christian, it's still something that you can pull from it, because again, when you are relating, you got to have something. You're restoring a thing. You're building a rapport. And in order to do so, you got to have certain levels. You know, I heard this because I'm always getting information on things, relationships, because this is how we operate. The business relationship, friendships is another relationship. Again, we just said marriage is a different type of relationship. The relationship between you and your animal is another relationship. Between parent and kid is another relationship. You got to relate. I'm done hearing this thing with parents that don't understand their kids. Why don't you understand your kids? You was a kid, weren't you? Oh, no, it's another generation. And they don't understand the value of hard work. Don't y'all see we live on a land where it was stolen? What hard work you talking about? Oh, wow. You talk about this video, this minister here. And, you know, respected family that this minister is talking, of whom he comes from. Respected family. But we're done on the garbage. It's not right. And we're gonna play a video in the back in here as we go along of because this made a whole stir back in the 90s, y'all. This made a whole big old stir because this man is saying it's not okay. I'm saying it, oh no. And again, you hear the double talk, you hear the double speech, because again, in order to hide racism, you got to speak in double talk. You can't be upfront. The only way you can be upfront is by saying that they used to do a thing on cartoons way back in the day. No dogs allowed, right? They used to do that when you wouldn't want to serve certain people, which again is what we're right back to in homosexuals. See, again, you set the precedent for one group of people. You can do it with everybody. Y'all, you do it. It don't matter who it is. Soon you start having white folks not wanting to serve certain white folks. Oh man, it's bad. We are putting differences and differentiations where the great creator has not, guys, and we're hurting ourselves as a result. The power you shut down by not allowing certain cultures to talk, by not having certain cultures communicate, by not having certain cultures marry each other. You want to talk about arranged marriages? Life naturally is picking them for you right here, y'all. The love you could have shared from black to white, from Hispanic to Asian, from Asian to black and white. I'm all over, y'all, because we live all over. Come on now. Business and commerce, you just shutting down, again, we still got a couple days here. We got 4 more. It's a leap year here, so Black History Month got an extra day, y'all. You cannot shut down the power that is in people and then assume that doesn't resonate into the rest of society. What do you think? See, again, you want to talk about mental health, man. Mental health is a real thing. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. This ain't racist. Again, it's a competition. Do you know what happens when you start racism is about a competition, y'all, to certain to different or certain resources, etc. And what you do to hold back one, and in this case, the ism at the beginning, isms at the end of the first part of the word, which is race, aka culture, aka someone's ethnos, their ethnicity. You using who they are to differentiate and distinguish them away from certain resources. What is you say? Let me say it in the best black language I can say it. What is you saying? It's not, that don't make sense. And of course, being greedy in the reality, when you're looking at it from the standpoint of sharing a thing, of course it wouldn't make sense. That don't make sense because the idea is to share the thing. Again, when you're trying to take it all, of course you would make all these divisions. Y'all should really read the Willie Lynch letter, man. You should, you know what? While we're here, might as well bring it up. Might as well, right? Because, hey, why, another thing here that, no, it didn't really happen. Certain things don't really match, KJ. Come on, man. What did you saying, sir? There's no possible way this man lived and said a thing and did. There's no way, right? There ain't no way. Okay, sure. You don't want to believe a thing. You don't want to. You don't want to. You don't want to receive a thing, that's all right. Hey, you know, again, choices, man. Choices that we all partake in. And I'm just wanting to see if I can find a thing. Oh boy, we're just gonna drop the bomb here because, you know, nobody teaches this one in school. You know, all the fake mess they've been teaching kids in school all this time. Columbus sailed the ocean blue. He founded America. Amongst the many other things. You know what? Shout out to friends and family who keep it one. You know, I haven't done a shout out in a little bit here. Shout out to friends and family who keep it real, right? Who will tell you the truth when it's hard to hear it. Lord, we got too many poses today. It's time to start. Man, it's time to start telling the truth, man. Right? You don't tell the truth. We was raised on this, y'all. Don't do the lie. Tell the truth. Because lying would have consequences. Now, I know they flipping it today saying that telling the truth would have consequences. Listen, that ain't nothing new. They've been putting people to the gallows for standing up against tyranny and everything for a long time, man. And them gallows, yeah, no, okay, it's 2024. You won't see nobody hanging. No, you don't. You know, there's something else other than the physical hanging, which I'm not putting the physical hangings to the wayside. But, yeah, come on, guys. Come on. Anyway. Let's go through some of these differences here so that you can have slaves. You know, it was the peculiar institution, as it is called, of slavery, chattel slavery, on the lands of North America and other places. Yeah, I said other places. Go over to Haiti and Jamaica and start looking and tell me any different. You look at the revolutions in Mexico. What do you think was coming, y'all? Again, y'all raise a glass during Cinco de Mayo. Don't understand. You don't understand. We're going to get into it when the 5th of May comes. Because I want people to understand, man. You are celebrating the freedom from tyranny. I don't know. Oh, let me get a Corona. Oh, you want a Corona? Look at your Corona. You get your Corona, Dos Equis, and the rest of you are celebrating freedom from tyranny, y'all. Oh boy, I can't even. Hey, yeah, so let's see. We're going to get into a little bit of the quote here before they wind up taking this thing down, because again, what happened, unfortunately, is people think folks are stupid. They can't and they won't catch on. This is some of the things here. So here we're going to read. You left the print. You know, for those who are going to hear my podcast here on this, you left the thing, you left some information. I know you're saying that it's not a thing, but this is clear. The pattern of life here is clearly shown in this thing. So we're just going to go with it. I know in businesses they tell you there's no discrimination because we're not choosing according to what are the words that they use legally? Race, creed, gender, all that kind of thing. Yeah, that's all hogwash, right? You got to say a thing legally to protect you when you do illegal things. This is so let's give you an example. Legally, right? Here's legal, because again we're gonna say, oh, it's not illegal. Again, that DID thing is real. So, oh, it's not legal anymore. Okay, here's the precedent. Hey, you could go kill your slaves and not be tried for it. That was one of the slave codes, guys and gals. We'll read it to you here in a second. It's one of the slave codes. You could kill your slaves and not be tried for it. You could wait. Let me move the words around. You could kill people and be okay with it. Oh, okay. Then now, ladies and gentlemen, see again, we're talking the precedent for things. Stop getting mad when people get off when they killing innocent folks out here, and you get out. You get off from doing it. Because again, this is the precedent you set by doing this hundreds of years prior. And nobody's saying nothing. No wonder you don't have a lot of criminal justice. And this is getting into the topic on criminal justice and everything. So for all you criminal justice folks out there and stuff, understand you're dealing with a precedent here, where it's okay to get people off from the wrongs and the sins they're doing. I'm just saying, hey, and because again, we keep playing the game. So let's go with it. Gentlemen, I know what your problems are. I do not need to elaborate. And he says a whole bunch of stuff before that about how they're losing, the slaves are running away. So he's trying to make a thing where it's more, where it's in lockstep, where it's going to make it hard to we're doubling down. This is what this is, right? I'm not here to enumerate your problems or to all of them, right? It's all not going to go away. Of course, you couldn't get all of it to go away, sir. How are you going to get it all to go away? Wait. The problems of which you were saying is dealing with humans holding back other humans and killing them and raping them and just tearing apart the fabric of life. Yeah, you couldn't. How could you fix all that? Because you're dealing with the fabric of life, which is made by the creator, of which you have no... Never mind. So I'm here to introduce you to a method of solving them. So this is the method. See, since we're on the Sunday message, here's a verse for you. Man's plans are right in their own eyes, but God sees the intent. I'm mixing a couple verses together, but it's still one thought. You think of a thing that you think is right, but it's not. God's ways are above yours, right? The Creator's ways are above the creation. You see, again, we're not understanding the design of the game here, or refusing to see it. In my bag here, or the bag you had, sir, I have a foolproof method for controlling your black slaves. I guarantee every one of you that if installed correctly, it will control the slaves for at least 300 years. Time's up. This is guys and gals, understand that if you do it to one group of people, you can do it to everybody. Do you know while this mess was going on, the bondage women were under? And then you wonder why women say, oh man, screw you, man. I was getting close. Screw you to the men. Do you know why they say for y'all to bug off? There's another one of those words. Because you treated them like trash. Yet, let's just be honest, from Adam and Eve till now, men have not understood a thing because you stuck on the garbage that someone else told you, which was incomplete in its thinking. You on a team, you don't own anybody. Every time humans go into owning something, it goes sideways. You want to share responsibility with someone, that's a different topic. The great creator has given us the ability to monitor, or aka be responsive, aka responsible with our abilities. Difference. Big old difference. My method is simple. Any member of your family or your this is anything y'all can find online. This Willie Lynch letter is still online, guys. All you have to do is just Google in the Willie Lynch letter, go read it for yourself. Any member of your family or your overseer can use it. So now you drug the family into this? Wait until I tell you about what that becoming one means. You drug the family, you making the whole of reality on this garbage? And there's no reason to separate from it. Oh, okay. You cannot be unequally yoked together with folks, guys. If folks are going to stay stuck to a certain kind of thing, you got to bounce from that. Any member of your family or overseer can use it. I have outlined a number of differences among the slaves, and I take these differences and make them bigger. Right there, y'all. Yeah, we got differences. Of course we got differences. That don't mean you go the next step further. See, when you cross in certain lines here. Anyway, I use fear, distrust, and envy for control purposes. Lord, y'all need to be careful. And they sit there talk that mess about witches. They hunted down witches. They were the witches. Anyway, These methods have worked on my most modest plantation. Again, this is the part where they discredit because whether he was there or not, right? Again, this idea could have worked from any one of the plantation owners back then. So don't give me, oh, hey, well, he wasn't a thing. No, y'all said a thing. You flipped it and put a fictional character there, but you still put out there for everyone to know what to do. Because again, word had to get around that way back then, guys. This is how it worked. Letter in the bottle, have it float. Go. I mean, we're talking again without being too what's a fiction and non-fiction. So instead of being too fictional, right? Just go look at the methods of communication back then, right? Anyway, they worked on my modest plantation in the West Indies. See, nobody really did, because you're only thinking about America. Nobody's looking at the West. Again, go look and see what happened over in Haiti and Jamaica, y'all. You want to talk about some rebels over there, and people don't play, and they shouldn't. Same thing in Mexico. That no wonder it's the people that's most aligned. They're the most angry. This, that, and the other. You got horror of humanity. You want to talk about the anti-defamation associations? Are you kidding me? And nothing wrong with that group, guys. Okay, we're not talking. That you should stand up against defamation. Okay, we're talking about, and again, just disrespect to the high. The defamation, big old word. Just disrespect to the highest order. Men, women, kids, everybody should be standing up for that. But you don't sit there and we skipping over this? Okay, because they still play games. Again, the president, don't matter which president, all these presidents, we had President's Day, right? All hail whoever, yeah. All these presidents, all supporting racism, all allowing it to go on in the land here. Oh, well, people got free speech. So see, again, I know it's hard for some folks because they like to hold on to this thing. You're looking at what happens when people have serious issues and they take them out on somebody else. This is what it looks like. But again, if you want to get better, you got to change it, man. You got to change up the game, and you can do it without being violent, and you can do it in very small stages, all coming up to something big. And you don't have to be around a thing. See, again, they don't value you, bounce. That's simple. You make a plan, and you go. And the more we all help each other in doing that, the better this looks. Because again, guess who else is on the team? Humanity. Against all the things that would tear us down. Anyway. And it will work throughout so the West Indies and will work throughout the South. Take this simple little list of differences and think about them. On the top of my list is age. There's ageism. But it's only there because it starts with an A. This moron, if I could just say it so blatantly. See, people play around with things they know nothing about. You're just a kid in a candy shop. That's why, people want to mess with, again, the spirit world, people know very little about. You just, all you did was the alphabet. You put the alphabet together and came up with this. Okay. You talk about weird imaginations. Anyway, starts with an A. The second is color or shade. So we put skin tone in there. There you go, guys, right there. There's also intelligence, size, gender. There's sex, gender, right? Again, the genders are having sex, so that's why we just put that to sex, okay? Sizes of plantations, so your city, where you come from. Oh, no, I'm from the west side. We better than those on the east side. And I'm from the east side. We better than those on the west side. West side. All this kind of stuff that we've grown up on, man. North to south. Y'all sitting there fighting a bloody war you had no right fighting. Because the thing you were fighting over is a misnomer. No one owns anybody. People trying to make it like they do. Nobody owns anybody. Status on the plantation. This is where you get your bought Negroes and house Negroes from. This is where you get it from. Because status, they got to pump status in your mind. Status don't mean nothing if the Bible tells you that God tears down kings and queens and raises them up. Yeah. Oh boy. See, again, do not think more highly of yourself than you ought to think. Ain't no status that you can't lose, guys. That's for all of us. Loss comes to everybody. So how you so high on I come from this family? What does that mean? Because the family you came from could have been somebody else's. All it takes is see, again, the way the Joker said it in The Dark Knight is that, well, all the person needs for bad days is a little push. That's all you need. People too high on themselves. And you see it, it shows. It shows. When you have more of an air of humility about you, you talk differently. Now, again, that's different than you looking down on yourself constantly, okay? It's two totally different things. Attitude of owners. Oh, boy. So now you put the bosses in it. No, and no wonder you got bosses sitting there in these stupid pseudo competitions, and my store is doing better than you. Oh man, my company doing better than your company and stuff. Come on, y'all. We don't already work for all these folks. We already know what the game is. Problem is they know. That's the problem. They know. It's out of control. You hear it. You go up and down aisles and stuff. You hear the talk, right? Because we all have the when we're in these stores shopping with the I know they don't care, right? Because they own the companies and all that kind of thing. But they're sitting there, you know, swinging around their proverbial man members, if you will, is going around, you know, not understanding the harm they are doing to the people around them. Their workers, their families don't have a clear. This is why you need Labor Day. All those kinds of things I'm talking about, just written and documented, man. I mean, this ain't nothing new. Whether the slaves live in the valley, on a hill, east, we just doubled down on it. East, well, he already said status on the plantations and the sizes of them. He's just doubling down on the thought here. Whether the slaves live in a valley, on a hill, it's like there's a difference between that. East, well, again, you're taking the differences and you're hyper extending them, to use that word. East, west, north, south. And the last I checked, when you hyperextend your knee, you do damage to it. But we'll just leave that alone. Have fine hair, coarse hair, or as tall as short. For real? For real? You gonna get on my nappy hair and that makes me more or less valuable a slave to you? That's one of the distinctions? Oh man, we need the youth today to kind of rise up in the thing, y'all, because older people, you're too corrupted. You haven't let it go. Yeah, you can't. It's hard for you to let go, man. You gotta see. But again, the Bible tells you it's hard to kick against the goats, man. You can't. It's hard to keep pushing against these barriers, these things in the way that are there on purpose because you shouldn't be doing a thing. Anyway. Now that you have a list of differences, I shall give you an outline of action to use those differences. Now, it doesn't say to use those differences, but outline of action, meaning to use those differences. But before that, I shall assure you that distrust is stronger than trust, and envy is stronger than adulation, respect, or admiration. Right there, guys, is the problem. Folks in their mind assume that if you sow distrust, disorder, put all the words and dis at the end of it, that if you sow chaos, it's greater than non-chaos or trust. Guys, the planet's in balance. They're both on the... Never mind. Neither one is stronger than the other. They live on balance. God made it that way, so that humans and nobody else could throw it out of balance. Because you're not messing. Never mind. People keep thinking that they're better than the creator. That's not how the game works. Adulation, respect, and admiration. Let's see. Let's just keep going on here a little bit. The black slaves, after receiving this indoctrination, shall carry on and will become self-refueling and self-generating for hundreds of years, maybe thousands. Don't forget, you must pitch the old black male versus the young black male. The young against the old, the dark against the light. So we're talking skin tone. Flips it, the light versus the dark. You must use the female versus the male, and the male versus the female. You must also have you white servants and overseers distrust all blacks. God help us to go past this mess. But it is necessary that your slaves trust and depend on us. So you've created a sick game of push and pull. I am nobody's barter chip. I want to make that clear. You won't use me to make money for you. Because I'm in the knowledge now that I see it. And I pray there's others like that that see it. This is wrong, guys. This is wrong, gals. This is wrong. This is not how life should be. And it is in our hands to make the choice to change it for the betterment of those after us. There's no getting around it. Well, you can get around it, but you're just playing around with, again, it's this idea of that last episode in Loki, this past season. People trying to get around the thing that's just you wasting time. You waste your own time to your own peril, because the destruction's still coming, clearly. This is not meant for anybody's betterment. I don't care what colonization, none of that mess. That word, that big old word, colonization they use is just to hide their sins of theft, rape, and torture. That's it. That's it. They must love, respect, and trust only us. To my black brothers and sisters, I must say a thing. And this goes also to every person on, I'm telling y'all, there's a mixture of this Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X thing here. Telling y'all. Because this thing should be done peacefully, but you ought to be able to defend yourself. You should, like everybody else on the planet. Understand, y'all. They need you to rely upon them. This system, the way they have built it, is based in you having an improper codependency. And no wonder relationships go sideways. Because you got improper balances of dependency and independency. But when you got mess like this, just to make a buck, you did this because you didn't want to work hard you stole the land. You might as well went all the way with it and worked the land. But no. You don't want to, so you get yourself free work service. This is what this is, guys. This was the basis in how they did it, and they doubled down by saying that this thing is not true. But everything they say in this thing is absolutely what happens in life. Don't you see when you have imbalances in your relationships and stuff like that, there are high levels of dependency? Improper balances of dependency, improper balances of independency. We need each other. We need each other. We need help, y'all. We just read that here. You need help. We're going to stop it there. We're going to stop it there. We're going to stop it there. I'm going to see if I can get into all this, guys, was the first page of my notes, by the way. The first page of notes. Here's another one. The issue with all types of relationships, business, personal, whatever type of relationship. But for the most part, I put this other little note here. Business does tie into personal. I mean, business is a personal relationship. How do you mean? It's made up of persons. So before you make the distinction, oh, personal is just meaning like you understand. Business is made up of people, right? Again, even in that is also a competition, unfortunately. This is why I can't be dealing with hyper-competitive people. Again, listen to what I'm saying. Hyper-competitive people. Y'all just can't have competition without that thing turning into the gladiator arena. Yeah, it's too much for me. I don't deal in that because, again, I realize that it only goes to a certain level and then that's it. When we start doing into the, no, I'm good. There's enough that goes on in life, in my life, in all of our lives for us to be adding that in there too. If you need that, let's just speak to the thing that's what's going on here. Because there's a lot of different reasons why people is competitive, right? If there's something going on in your life to the point where you need to validate yourself to the point where you have to be so over the top in your competitive nature, there's something wrong there. I like to win like everybody else do. I like to succeed. I'm going to be just like anyone else is. Even more so as a black person, as someone of native descent, right? In a world that has had this thing be against folks like me. Okay, we're going to be successful, but that don't mean I got to slice someone's throat to do it. Because then that blood is on my hands now. I destroy my own ability to keep getting stuff. I'm not having that on me. See, again, people have gone away from a certain spiritual base here. I don't need that karma on me. We're going to do right by people, whether it's to my detriment or not. Okay? What price are you going to pay? Nothing does come for free. Okay? What price you paying? So, when all that said, the issue with all types of relationships, business, personal, whichever, concerning humanity is in what Jesus said would happen at the beginning of the end of all things in this reality. And that is that the love of the great body of people will grow cold. And we're going to end right there, y'all. Again, there's certain things here to notice. You have to consider. You've got a certain thought process. You heard that minister say, you pass it down. You tell your kids. You tell your kids. You are telling your children to not get married to other people of say it differently. See? Tell them why you don't want them to. See, that's the part that was never said in this video. You're in church, there to learn something, and this was the mess that was preached in that message, then you wonder why folks don't go to church no more. And they shouldn't. You should not go to a place, guys, where it's not helping you. And that type of talking is not helping you. It hurts you. When you can't follow the love that is between you and another person from another culture, you hurt yourself and them. No, because of racism, we had to pick and choose who to be with, no different than because of greed and racism. Our ancestors and our elders had to work the most horrible of jobs while their bosses took their money and had a party at their expense. No different than how this nation was made. See, this is the stuff people don't want to say. They don't want to say it. Then come back when you start talking about the different groups of society of which who are involved in this mess. Oh no, you're being anti this and no, we're telling the truth. What Monique was talking about in her interview to other brothers in the game is the truth. Y'all come up off of being a certain way to keep making money for yourself at the expense of your people. That's a problem. That's a problem. Ain't no time for the pimp and hoe game no more, y'all. Ain't no time for it. We have wasted time doing it. You know, again, like I say, I'm apologetically unapologetic. See, my apologies, y'all, into getting excited, angry, upset at some of this stuff and it coming out and how y'all hear it in my voice. However, if this stuff don't move you, I don't. And it's not a knock on nobody, okay? Because we see it all the time, okay? We see it all the time. But it's just when you sit back and you look at it, Lord, the deception that has fallen to people okay with this. You want to know how badly they called the shot in this letter? You want to know how bad it was? Y'all, man, I'm trying not to use bad language, man. I'm trying. Excuse me. Check the end of this. Gentlemen, these kits are keys to your control. See, again, you don't have the control, though. The control is in the hands of the Creator. That's the lie they telling you. That's why it never looks like it works. That's why you always get uprisings, and you should, because it's wrong. It's against the nature of the order actually put there. Use them. Have your wives and children. You look at that mess. You gonna invite that garbage on your family, then wonder why you got mess. You better tell them, don't you do this mess. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. And a matter of fact, when you're out in the street in these stores and you start seeing your family getting sideways, you correct them right on the. So you do it with your kids though. See, it's okay to do it with the kid. Why? Because you think they're less than you. Yeah, we going there, God. Because again, the only way to get better is to see where it's wrong. You got to see the cancer eating your body, address and see what's going on to fix it. That's the problem. They're okay with this. I'm not. I'm not over here, y'all. We not. I'm good. I'm good. We did 40 some odd years with it. We good. We good with it, man. We are good with it. Never miss an opportunity. This is why you always see people, they sit there and they stare at you. Staring at black folk when they're walking around like they're scientific experiments on a petri dish. That's crazy, man. Can't walk down the street without somebody look. What, you think I'm gonna steal your purse? I don't want your stuff, man. I'm looking for mine. I'm looking for my own. I don't want yours. Let go of the stuff in your mind that they put there on purpose to hold you back. If used intensely for 1 year, the slaves themselves will remain perpetually distrustful. I'm telling you guys that distrust is not greater than trust. Trust is a very powerful thing that no one can control. Love is a very powerful thing no one can control. Honesty, the truth, justice is not something humans can control. And we just ought to band together and just go on with it and leave a lot of this mess behind. So that's what I got for y'all today. That is the Sunday message. I hope that it helps some folks. I do these things to make sure that it helps folks not to be popular. I do thank y'all for the journey that you're on walking with me. Because this is definitely a journey of walking. You got to have them good shoes on to do this walk, man. It may start to hurt your feet after a while. So thank y'all. Thank you very much. Again, another shout out to Spotify for podcasters, because again, without the platform to speak, voices are not heard. And as always, look to find the beauty in a different view.